Dean, just a frustrating day all around?
Yeah, very frustrating. I mean, it's a disappointing one. It was, I don't think we dealt with the conditions really well. It was a bobbly pitch. I thought our first touch at times let us down. There was poor passes, and it was very unlike us. It was an untidy performance. But saying that, I thought we were probably controlling, shady in the first half. And then second half, we've had so many 4v3 situations where we didn't work the goalkeeper and end up with a good chance. And, that's the disappointing part, because that was at 0-0. And the first goal changed it a little bit where we dropped off too deep, and they ended up getting the win.
What was going on with you and Chris Armas there early in the game, in the second half, and then afterward?
No, I mean, Wilf said something, I think, to the fourth official. And the fourth official and the referee are dealing with it, and he stepped out of his technical area to get involved to try and get Wilf booked or cautioned. And I've just told him, listen, that's out of order. Let the referee deal with it. That's their job. Didn't leave my technical area, and he started having to go back. So we just had words, and then we both got a yellow card.
What about after the game? Was there more spoken about that same topic?
It was the same topic, yeah. I just said, leave my players alone. I can deal with my players. Let the referee ref the game. He's got me a yellow card today by leaving his technical area. I've stood where I'm meant to stand, and he's trying to get one of my players cautioned.
Wilfred looked frustrated today. I mean, he's just not getting the calls he wants yet, not getting the play he wants yet. Yeah, I mean, I thought he had some good moments in the game. He lost the ball a few times as well. He showed good reactions at times to go and get the ball back. But I think not one player probably got a 7 out of 10 today. I think that summed up the game, Wilf included. And if you come away from home and you don't get 7 out of 10s in the team, then you're gonna find it tough. Thanks. Thank you.
All right, John.
Hey, Dean. How do you feel like the team dealt with the conditions, especially the altitude? Did you see some of the telltale signs of playing up that high with the fatigue? How did you think it impacted the team?
No, altitude was no problem whatsoever. We didn't deal with the conditions of the pitch. Second half it got really windy. Our touch let us down at time, our passing, but the altitude wasn't a problem at all.
Okay. And obviously you'll go back and look at the film, but your first reaction after the whole game, what do you feel like needs to be a lot better? I know you mentioned the first touch. Anything else?
No, I thought we were just untidy in general. I thought first half we didn't move the ball quick enough. It was, it became a little bit pedestrian. But saying that, we've still had some really good moments. I feel Patrick needs to be protected. I mean, their 5 could have had 3 yellow cards today. But I never went to the fourth official saying that should be a yellow card. That's for them to deal with.
Thank you.
All right, Sam?
Coach, do you think Patrick should have gotten the halo earlier?
Should have gotten the what, sorry?
The MLS protection rule after being fouled so much?
There was a lot of fouls that weren't given today. Liel gets through and he's going to square the pass to Patrick. Patrick's on the edge of the box, and the guy rugby tackles him. And they play the advantage and say, oh, because we played the advantage, we can't go back and give him a yellow card. But it's a tap-in for Patrick if Liel squares it to him, and nothing's done about it. It's a shame, but listen, I'm not going to berate officials for today. They wasn't the only thing wrong with our performance today. As I said before, I don't think enough of our players, were consistent enough during the game, and that's what let us down.
It seemed like there was a lot of weight on the touches, on the passes, a lot of stuff that was a little too heavy. Can you go into that a little bit?
No, I mean, tactically we got it. We got what we wanted. We knew that we would get opportunities where we were running 4v3, and when it's a forward of Wilf Zaha, Pep Biel, Patrick Agyemang, Liel Abada, I expect, and they probably expect, better chances. And I felt we just let ourselves down with that final ball at times.
And it, especially compared to the last match, it seemed like the team just couldn't really get it to Pep to get a chance. Was there any other movement that you saw just not being able to work in the final third?
Yeah, no, I thought we got it to Pep a number of times, to be honest. I mean, if you remember the one first half, I think Wolves cut inside, played it to Pep. He's played it over the defender's head, and Patrick gets in. I think he tries, he's in two minds whether to square it for Liel or go for goal, and it just rolls past the post. But Pep has been really good for us, as we all know. I just thought at times he lost the ball a few times, which is, not like him today, but he was one of 11.
And then finally, obviously the first half you might have had to be disappointed with, aside from the score line. What did you tell the boys in the locker room? And then what did you tell them after the game?
I told them that we needed to speed the play up, move the ball a little bit quicker. We wanted Westy to drop in between the defenders at times to build up with the three, and said once we bypass their midfielders and find a ball through the lines, you'll end up with a 4v3, and we had 3 or 4 of them but didn't convert it. So at the end of the game, I've just told the players, we didn't deal with the conditions well enough. Our touch weren't good enough, our passing weren't good enough, and that's why we ended up on the wrong side of a result.
Thanks, Coach. Safe travels.
Thank you.
All right, Mike, end it.
Hey, Dean. Just real quick for me, and I'm hoping you can hear me because I've got a bad internet connection. Is this one that you kind of talked to the guys that nobody was 7 of 10? You just flush this one and move on now? I mean, what's the lessons learned out of this one?
Yeah, no, you've got to learn your lessons. I thought second half, because they had the wind, we ended up dropping a little bit too deep, and I thought then there was too many gaps between our forward line and our back line, and they ended up scoring the first goal from that. So I felt our back line needed to be higher in the second half, and we'll learn from that. We'll get better, but you have to learn from every performance you go into, and we've got to make the most of them opportunities when we have overloads, certainly with the players that we've got.
We were, I don't know, my internet is bad, so I don't know if this was asked, but Doumbia, and how you like him on the back end?
Who's that, sorry?
Doumbia?
Yeah, Doumbia done okay. His second full game, again, I thought he dropped with the back four. We ended up with 4v2, so there was always going to get an overload in midfield by doing that, and I just felt our back line needed to be higher. If you look at the first goal, Sully's in a really good position, but then drops right off on the build up to the game where I thought he could have got a little bit tighter.